So I'm going to show you a different kind of who am I picture. This was about 6 weeks ago in South Africa. It's a natural feeding frenzy known to mankind, and I was very lucky to be one of the few that actually have experienced it. And as I was thinking about telling you who am I and where I'm from, I said, well, I could show you the corny icons that would hopefully connect the dots to where I'm from, or maybe I can try and do it a little bit differently. And I noticed that water is playing a critical role in my life. It's actually an element that really is throughout my history a part of. And as I thought about it, I said, you know, one of the countries that I come from has been really struggling in creating it, fostering it, making sure that there's enough sustainability, and they do it through desalinization. So you'll see it actually, there it is. This is people planting a new tree in the desert, and then really making the desert green. And then I thought about the other country where I'm from, which is actually a country that's constantly fighting the elements, making sure the same element stays out and that they can actually survive. And so that's really the two countries where I'm from. I still haven't figured out how to embrace Korea into my story, but that will be probably the next year when you see me. So a little bit about what I do and where I'm from. I'm with Samsung Group. We're the in-house ad agency, the integrated marketing communications agency of Samsung, Cheil worldwide. And what we do is actually, we are here to generate demand amongst consumers. That's really our basic core operation. And we do that in many countries. In most of the countries, we are the in-house ad agency still of Samsung. We were created within Samsung. In some countries, we actually have new clients that are not Samsung-related businesses. And so what I'm going to show you is actually how we're dealing on a global scale with generating demand and how we try to figure out how to co-create together with the designers at Samsung products that actually will make sense for local markets. So the three examples you'll see, one is a very poor example, which is what I'm trying to do, drive the point. The other one is a sublime example of how we were able to do that in India very well. And another one is where we're in the stage of transformation, so moving in Russia from purely creating products to actually listening to how people and products relate to each other.
볼수록 빠져든다. 자초월광 합체 아몰레드.
टाटा इंडिकॉम और सैमसंग मोबाइल पेश करते हैं एडवांस्ड मोबाइल ट्रैकर वाला सुपर हीरो। तो बस एक एसएमएस करो, फोन और कॉन्टैक्ट लिस्ट दोनों वापस पाओ। इसको चुरा के कहां जाएगा?
Для меня кино – это ожидание. Ожидание того, что через мгновение придуманный тобой мир станет реальностью. На экране появятся герои, каждый со своей историей и судьбой. Кино. Важно, чтобы каждый момент был убедительным, внушал доверие, заставлял сопереживать. Кино – это четко выстроенный кадр, точно отрепетированное действие и слово. Но самое главное – это правда. Это жизнь. Так рождается кино.
Телевизоры кино. Четко, ярко, реалистично.
So hopefully I don't have to tell you which ones are really consumer, co-created, driven messages. The one that from India shows clearly that we saw a problem in India and we said to designers, we need to figure out how to solve this problem, and they came up with this great tracking solution so that you can actually find your phone again when it's stolen, which is a very common problem in this fantastic country. The first one is really, traditional advertising. It's just pushing something forward in a pop culture way. Sex sells everywhere, as well as in Korea. And the third option is more of a understanding that Russia is very nationalistic, and how do we integrate that nationalistic feeling in a positive way and sell our products. So a transformation period for us there. A Yangban in Korea is basically traditional studying method. And what I'm looking for is actually to learn from the co-delegates on how to actually implement co-creation in large organizations, which is really a difficult task, as I've experienced over the past year. Some of the experiences that I have, and I am out of time, so I'll be very quick, is in this case, working in separate groups, trying to together design and create something, but still very separately, and moving to, on the right, which should show up, is actually working together as unit, designing it together with consumers. And I'll share with you an example when we sit down about our television and how we did that. The reflection on this, from my perspective, is having experienced this in a situation where we initially went into with a product and sold it in a very traditional way, basically saying something is better than or as good as the eye, and then saying, well, this is bullshit. Nobody's going to believe our bullshit, and we have nothing to even, show for. And then going back to the designer and saying, what did you actually try to create? And then communicate that message out there. So that was a transformational moment for us, but we're very much in the beginning stage, because now we need to start creating products before the designers come up with the idea. The question I have actually for the group is, when do we bring consumers into this conversation? Instead of consumer insights, which is what we all do, how do we let them co-create with us? This is a big challenge for us. And the second part of it is, when is too much of co-creation doing the opposite? So when do we get to the inflection point of too many different disciplines creating a chaos instead of actually a focused solution? So that's another question that I have for the group that I hope to solve together in the manifesto. Thank you very much, and I apologize for the delay.